Hi, and welcome to Better Boating in Connecticut. We're here today at the Baldwin Bridge boat ramp located in Old Saybrook, Connecticut. I'm Jerry Desmond, and this is Wendy Flynn, and we will be your host today. And we're going to talk about boat ramps. We're going to discuss all the operations of boat ramps, where they are available, some of the safety procedures when you're trailering a boat to one of these ramps. And we're going to talk about all of the procedures and the things you can do to stay safe at any one of our 110 boat launches that we manage statewide here in Connecticut. So Wendy, maybe you could talk a little bit about the launches themselves.
Sure. We have launches inland on freshwater as well as coastally on Long Island Sound. And if there's ever any issue with them, you can find out if they're going to be closed for renovations, or if they're just closed due to, just a lot of people going there. There's not any more parking. You can use our social media, our Facebook pages, our Twitter account, or we have an interactive map to even find a boat launch. So if maybe the one that you wanted to go to is full because you saw it on Twitter, you can find the next local one. So some of the renovations that we might be having, some of the closures are renovations such as, either there's line striping or it's just closed just to completely redo it, remodel it. But one of our biggest things that we do when we do remodel the launches is that we include ADA accessibility for boaters. We want to include everyone, and we do our best. At some of the launches, we also have they're within state parks, so there might be a fee associated with getting into the park, but to use the boat launch, there isn't a fee. What else do you want to talk about, Jerry?
I think the other thing we should talk about is the fact when we do these renovations, a lot of that money is coming from the federal government, right?
Yeah.
Through access, boating access funds.
Through the Fish and Wildlife Service.
Yeah, so I think it's important for the people to know that, working in conjunction with the federal government, we get passed through grants that come down that assist us with that. And a lot of that money comes from there. And it's good to see that support nationally just as well as statewide.
Right. I believe that's why we don't charge at our boat launches, is because we get that federal money.
Right. You'll find that we don't have a fee at most of our boat launches, unless, like Wendy had talked about earlier, some of the parks, when they're affiliated with a park, they may get a fee for something like that. And our boat launches are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have people that get it set up in the spring, and that they open up in the spring, and during the season they're open, and they're there for everybody's convenience and to go and enjoy boating and enjoy the resources we have here in Connecticut, right?
And then another convenience that we have at our boat launches are floating docks to help people get in and out of their boat, tie out, while they go park their truck, or even go get bring your truck back so you can retrieve your boat. So, and those are typically in, I think, they're in mid-April, about April 15th, and they typically come out mid-November, no earlier than November 15th, but it's a little bit, it's staggered a little bit, so they start around the 15th and then they come out definitely before the first snowstorm.
Yes, and all of you that use our boat ramps or trailer your boats, we consider you to be stakeholders in this process, and you're, we're here to work for you and to make these resources better. So we do have access for you to come to us and be able to put in suggestions, or make a complaint, or let us know if something's wrong at ramps. We can't have everybody at a ramp every day, every minute. So when those boaters are there, they can go and use an online form at our website to make out a complaint or suggestion, and we certainly are here and consider the boaters to be stakeholders, and we want their input so we can improve our resources all the time.
Absolutely.
Right? And if you do get there and you find out there's illegal activity going on at a ramp, or you might find that there's vandalism or littering or anything like that, you can use the form, but you can also, if you need immediate help for an immediate problem, you can call the Conservation Police at the dispatch area, and that number is 424-3333, and that dispatch center will dispatch any resources or any type of emergency response that's needed if you're at the ramp and that's going on. So, of course, we're here today, a very busy ramp today. We're at one of our ramps here today, like I explained earlier, Baldwin Bridge, so you see a lot of activity going on. And we talk a little bit about the staff members we might see at the ramp and people they may see there from our staff or others.
Right, and I want to add too, if you didn't get a chance to write down that number or you forget it, you can always call 911 if there's an emergency at a boat launch. Now, some of the staff that you will be seeing at our boat launches include our boating education assistants, or seasonal staff members that conduct vessel safety checks. They conduct aquatic invasive species inspections. They will help with parking at a boat launch. If it's getting full, they'll have to close it. They'll pick up, minor trash that's around, just to keep the launch looking great for you. And a couple other people you might see, if you did have to call law enforcement, our NCON officers, they may either just swing through, for normal patrol, or if there's an emergency, they'll be there too. You might also see some of our deep fisheries staff members. They conduct creel surveys, which is it's a fancy word for a fish count. So, they do, there's a lot of, moving parts at the boat launch, a lot of staff that you might see. We hope that you do encounter them.
Yeah, Wendy, you mentioned the BEAs, the boating education assistants they may see at the ramp. Those people are there to provide, they're there to provide a number of services. Number one is to be able to do safety inspections on your boat. They also manage the ramp when people come in to make sure they're parking correctly and make sure that it's organized and we haven't got chaos going on at the ramps. We work with each other to make it a smooth day for boaters. They also, and we'll talk about in a little bit, they also look to make sure that we haven't got an invasive species problem with people carrying them out of the lake and bringing them to another lake. Right. So they're very valuable people. And I think we need to talk a little bit about what will happen if you go to get a vessel inspection. What are some of the things they're going to look for? So what I would like to do now, I think it's time we can take a little bit of a break and go see a public service announcement. And we'll come right back here when we're done with that, and we'll talk a little bit about those inspections you might get at the boat ramp. See you in a minute.
We love it.
It's so much fun.
It's exciting.
Esto es vida.
Why do I have to wear a life jacket?
We wear it to be safe.
I've got mine on.
We're teaching our kids about safe boating.
Cogí un pescado así de grande.
We all love this life.
Wear it and love the life. This message brought to you by the National Safe Boating Council.
Welcome back to Better Boating in Connecticut. As I said before the break, when you go to our boat ramps or our boat launches, we'll have people there, boating education assistants, that do a variety of things. But one of the primary things they do is they do a vessel inspection, a safety inspection for you to assure that you have everything you need or you're legally required to have before you go out in your boat. And as a result, if you successfully get through that inspection, we issue one of these, a vessel inspection decal that says that you successfully passed that inspection. And you can put that on your vessel for if you're stopped or you have people that come to your vessel. It shows people that you've paid attention to the requirements of the law and you've put the right equipment on your boat. So when they go to do that, when you go to get a vessel inspection, what can you expect? What are they looking for? Well, one of the things we're looking for, really critical, is a life jacket. You have to have a wearable life jacket for each person on board. It has to be the proper size for whoever it's assigned to. It has to be in good condition, and it has to be accessible. It can't be down below stuffed in a plastic bag or someplace where they can't get to it. So we're looking for that to make sure that you have the proper life jackets on board. And as many of you know, you should know, anybody who's 12 and under has to wear this when on deck and underway, right? In addition to that, if you are an adult or you're above 12 years old, you need to wear this when you're legally, when you're being towed on a ski or a tube, or you're on a jet ski, or if you're in a paddle boat between October 1st and May 31st. So we always want you to wear your life jacket, however, because certainly every year we lose people in accidents where people were not wearing them. And even though you may not be required as an adult to wear it in certain times, we want you to wear your life jacket. We want you to be safe when you're out there. If you happen to have a vessel that is a class 1 and higher, over 16 feet, in addition to having those wearables, you also need one throwable, just one throwable on board that would be accessible to throw to somebody if they fell overboard or there was a problem and you needed to help save somebody who may be in the water. In addition to that, if you have enclosed engines or enclosed fuel tanks, you're going to need a fire extinguisher. That fire extinguisher, like all of our other equipment, including the life jackets, has to be Coast Guard approved. It needs to be at least a B-rated fire extinguisher, and they come in 2 sizes. They have a size 1 and a size 2. Size 1's the smaller canisters, 2 is the larger ones, and then they have letters on that that tell you what kind of fires those fire extinguishers can put out. So you have A, you have combustible solids. You have B, which are liquids like your fuel, and you have C fires, which are electrical. So whatever letters are on your fire extinguisher, those letters are going to determine what that chemical in that fire extinguisher can put out. But we'd be looking for those under those circumstances. Every boat needs an audible device. Should be able to be heard from at least a half mile away, and that's all vessels. So you can get a variety of audible devices. You've got the air horns that you've seen, or some people have full electronic air horns on their vessels. But something as simple as a whistle like this is out there, or you might have even manual horns that you can utilize as an audible device. But many of you, as you know, go out and you get the horns, the air horns, but you want to make sure they're functionable, and maybe a good backup whistle or a backup horn would be good. Now, if you're going to be on coastal waters or federally controlled waters along the shoreline, you're going to need visual distress signals. And you're going to need 3-day and 3-night visual distress signals. But if you have one that's good for day and night, such as this flare or a flare guns, and you have at least 3 of those, that will suffice. So you need to have these on board. They have to be not expired. They have expiration dates on them. And certainly these are there to help you if you're in distress out there. And again, a lot of people use the flares. They come in packs of 3 or 4. When you get a safety package from a marine store or something, it'll have all this equipment I'm discussing will be in there to assure that you're legally equipped for your vessel. Those are some of the things that we check. In addition to that, we'd be checking if you have an inboard or an inboard-outboard engine that's gas, a gasoline engine, we'd be looking for a backfire flame arrestor to make sure there's no spark coming out of that engine. Because as you know, when you have fumes and you have spark, you have the equation for an explosion. So we have 2 pieces of equipment to prevent that explosion. One is a backfire flame arrestor. The other one is a blower system. The blower system is a fan, if you will, that when you flip the switch, the fan will blow any fumes that might be in the compartment down there out of there to prevent fumes being in there, and then the backfire flame arrestor will prevent any kind of spark coming from the engine. In addition to that, obviously we'll be looking, do you have your boating certificate? If you're legally required to have it, we'll be looking for that, or your registration. Both of those need to be kept on board. So I think at this point, I'm looking for my partner. Wendy's still here. She's going to come jump in with me again. Wendy, ramp courtesy. Do you want to talk a bit about ramp courtesy and things we do to make the ramps more efficient?
Sure. Whenever you go to a launch, you definitely want to try to prepare your boat away from the ramp. Take off any stern lines you have, get the motor ready, put your cooler in, make sure your life jackets are on board. Do all of that away from the actual ramp. There's usually a preparation area kind of set to the side. If you're at a new boat launch and you're not exactly sure where it is, maybe prior to getting there, you can check out the schematic drawing that's on our website. You can see where the rigging area is, and to kind of get a sense of the flow of the launch. And then once you get on the actual ramp, you want to just get the boat in the water. If you're with someone or alone, tie it off to the courtesy floating dock, pull your trailer away, and park and get back to your boat, and then you can be on your way. What else did I forget?
I think we talked a little bit about the plugs, putting your plug in too. That's an important factor. You talked about getting your boat ready away from the ramp, and like Wendy said, our boat ramps get very busy, and people that tow their boats to these boat launches have an expectation that you will be ready to use ramp courtesy, get your boat set up off to the side before you get into queue, because they want you to get in, put your boat in, and then get out of the way and let the next person in, because a lot of times the volume's high. But when you go to put that boat in the water, you better have that plug in there,
Yeah, another thing, when you're retrieving your boat, try not to power load. In a lot of our newer renovations, we're trying to include some prevention methods, an extra an extra part of the ramp, an extra extension. But really, when you're loading your boat, try not to power load. If you need to, you can use the winch a little bit more, or maybe a little bit more speed in the beginning, but power loading, we want to try not to do that, because the next person that goes to launch, there's a huge rut there, and we can't fix all of them all the time, but we're working on them.
Probably in the future we'll do a whole nother show on trailering, but trailering itself, there's a lot of things to talk about. Strapping down your boat, making sure it's secure, making sure you got the proper size boat for the proper size trailer, all those things. But that's a whole nother show at some point. We'll discuss that as well, right? So the other thing I just want to say too, we talked a little bit about the equipment earlier, about the life jackets. I think we should mention that today's world, there's inflatable life jackets out there that are really convenient, they're really comfortable, and the thing to know that people have to be 16 or older to have those specifically assigned to them. I think we should mention that. And also, as I mentioned before, adults, when they're being pulled on a water ski or a tube, or they're out jet skiing, they have to wear a life jacket. Those inflatables are not allowed to be worn in those circumstances. So I think I just wanted to mention that about the safety checks. So
I just also, when you do see our boating education assistants, after they're done with their vessel safety check, they'll also perform an aquatic invasive species inspection, and that too is voluntary and free. And what it is just giving your boat a once over, making sure that there's no weeds stuck to it. In certain inland water bodies, there could be a risk of zebra mussels. So it's just a way to educate you, the boater, on how to clean, drain, and dry your boat. And what that is cleaning is actually a law that we have. You are required to remove all plant vegetation, dirt, debris, everything from your boat and trailer before you transport it from the launch. The next part is a little bit more voluntary. It's the drain part. So you want to drain any water that's in your boat, the live wells, any ballast, anything like that. You want to try to drain it. And then the next is dry. So in Connecticut, we encourage you to dry your boat for 1 week during hot, dry weather and 4 weeks during cool, wet weather. Now, our boating season isn't that long, so 4 weeks sometimes is a little bit tricky. It's been pretty rainy around here lately, and 4 weeks in between, weekends, that's kind of crazy, right? So you want to wash your boat, even if it's with your garden hose, giving it a once over before you go to a next launch or anything like that. And that'll prevent other invasive plants and animals from getting from one water body to the next.
Very important to save the resources of this state.
Absolutely.
Cleaning that book. Yeah, that's really important, like Wendy said. And that invasive species problem isn't just a Connecticut problem, it's a national problem.
Right.
And people from all states have rules and laws that say, hey, please, let's preserve our resources and clean those boats before they go from boat ramp to boat ramp. Yeah. So I think we've covered a number of topics today. I think it's been a good day. I want to thank our crew today that's with us, Yolanda Cooley and John Byron. They're here today with us. Yolanda, as you know, is one of our hosts, and you'll see her in some future shows, and thank them for what they did. And I think we always end with a little statement about always wearing a life jacket. I think we should say that thing. So let's go. So we always wear your life jacket. Thank you. We'll see you next time.